All aboard the Biden Express. Choo-choo. Fox sources capturing this crazy video showing thousands of migrants waiting to catch trains in Mexico bound for the United States. Right now, Biden's trying to cut a deal with Republicans to beef up border security in exchange for aid to Israel and Ukraine. But as usual, Democrats are freaking out. Congressional Hispanic Dems warning Joe that he better not bring back Trump-era immigration policies. Members of the radical squad chiming in to say how cruel and xenophobic to use migrants as bargaining chips. And while those idiots won, liberal cities that actually have to deal with the mess are crying uncle. New York City Mayor Eric Adams says he's not seeing any urgency from the White House when it comes to the migrant crisis in his city.
I'm just not seeing the White House and their colleagues up there understanding that we need a decompression strategy. I've been to D.C. 10 times, and each time I laid out a case on why the city, that's the economic engine of the state and the country, should not be going through this. Walking out, what I did not see the level of urgency.
Rosanna Scotto, your thoughts on what you were seeing around here in New York City?
Well, this is our hometown, right? In fact, tomorrow, Mayor Adams is going to be on Good Day New York. We'll talk about it. As you know, he's begging D.C. And Senator Schumer, who's a big wheel, right, in D.C. We haven't heard him come out and put his arms around our mayor and say, you're right, this is terrible for our city. I mean, we know we're stretched to the ends, right? We have the Cardinal come on our show, Cardinal Dolan, and the Archdiocese has been wonderful to the migrants, taking them in, trying to get them clothing and homes and jobs and everything else. They say they're stretched. It's not a figment of our imagination that this is stretching our budget, but the mayor's getting no help. It's falling on deaf ears. One of the last times he went to D.C., one of his fundraisers got arrested. He had to turn around and come back again. Everybody was looking. This was very suspect. Was this the Biden administration a little critical of our mayor because he was critical of Joe Biden?
Mm-hmm. Jessica, why won't Joe Biden do a deal with Republicans on immigration?
I think he's going to.
You do?
Yeah,
Good.
I do. I'm not sure if it'll be exactly the text that we're seeing right now.
In our lifetime?
Yeah, well, listen, tying it to two aid packages that are deeply important to him and important to the American people, the Israel package more so than the Ukraine package. But, you know, I think that he's done a pretty good job of also connecting the dots on that. But yes, I think he's going to. And I was revisiting today Obama's immigration policies. And he was known as the deporter-in-chief. He deported 3 million people while he was here. He was the first president since Reagan to leave office with the same amount of undocumented people as when he entered. Under George Bush, for instance, who people, I'm sure, in their heads would think was much harsher on immigration because that's what you typically associate with a Republican. There are an extra 2 million people who came in during that time. And Obama left office an icon, had increased Latino support in the party. It didn't backfire on him at all. And I think that there's a lot of playing this game, like, oh, I don't want to upset the progressive base of all this. And they're very loud online, right? Very powerful social media accounts, give great interviews, et cetera. But that's not how people vote, right? That's what we saw in 2020. No one would have thought Joe Biden would be the nominee, right? If you just went off of what blue check marks were saying. So I think he is going to do a deal.
We just saw some pretty nasty video. They have these immigrants now, and I don't even know what they're dressing them in. It just looks really sad.
Well, that train video is incredible. And for the last 2 weeks, we've seen, on one day in Arizona, 12,000 people came through a checkpoint. 12,000 people. And here's the kicker. Bill Maloogian had this amazing report about how he will interview migrants as they're coming across sometimes. He talks to one guy. He's from Africa. It's like, why'd you come? Well, my country's economic situation is terrible. I'm looking for a job, and I want to go to New York. Bill gets his number, contacts him. The guy has made it to New York. He had his asylum hearing. He said that the government in his country was trying to persecute him, so he was granted asylum.
He lied.
But we have him on camera saying that he came for an economic reason. If you say economic reason, you get deported immediately. So we have him on camera, and it's just one of those things where there's no system where you could figure that out. The other thing that 43 told Obama initially, his advice on the way out was, I know you want to do health care, but I'm telling you, you can get immigration done. You should do it first before you try to get health care done. And I think all of us would have been much better off. The last thing I would say is, we had a guy on today, he was a reporter in Mexico. He said that all these people, as soon as they get across the border, they take a selfie and they send it to their family with no words. But that selfie is the code that I made it, you should come too. So the system is totally broken. And the Biden administration, you are at 33% approval. Immigration is a top 3 concern. And why don't you just take the win, get the Ukraine and Israel money, and work with the Republicans? Except for at this point, I think Senate Republicans will go for it, but House Republicans may not.
Yeah, he's in the 20s on approval on immigration.
That is true, Jesse. But this is the key to open borders, the word asylum. It's essentially translated into open sesame. Even if you built a wall, that's the permanent doorway in. A wall wouldn't stop it. And you have to be frank about this when you're looking at the people coming across. They aren't escaping political persecution. A lot of them, especially the men, look healthy, happy, and fit. Many with roller bags. They look like they're going on a vacation. It's not the way you looked at the give me you're hungry and tired. And once again, it bears repeating the obvious lie of the left. If America and Western civilization is one that is steeped in systemic racism and relentless oppression, why are millions of black and brown people flocking into this bastion of hate? What kind of good squad member could invite such poor souls into a living hell in which they will only be persecuted in a life of misery? And speaking of the squad, take Ilhan Omar, perfect example of exploiting the values of a great country in order to subvert those values. She came here to open arms and paid us back by castigating and demonizing this country. And if you doubt me, just ask her brother and or husband.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.